Bear with me a little bit today, you guys. I'm going to talk about grief, and I'm feeling a lot of grief. I've been feeling a lot of grief specifically for the last almost 2 years, but I want to talk about it in a positive way and explain why I think it's been so beneficial for my growth. And it's so funny because I am sweating like crazy. Funny enough, when I get really sweaty, usually like the top of my lip gets really sweaty. And that was always something I was insecure about in past videos. But this time, it's just reserved for my hands, I guess. And my whole table is just a mess. I am having a hard time coming on here because I think if you guys are returning subscribers, you know that I have a tendency to disappear and then come back. But when I come back, it's like I get this surge of adrenaline to be like, all right, let's just do it. Let's just film. Because nothing is planned. Nothing, that OCD perfectionism of mine isn't really there because I don't have to structure anything. I don't have a specific topic I need to talk about. I just say, hey guys, I'm back. So I'm just going to kind of wing it because that is going to be a lot of what I talk about and how grief has allowed me to step outside of the prison that my mental space held me in for many years. And how baby steps are really important. And this is one of the baby steps, my friends, which is just doing it imperfectly. I put some makeup on today, but you know what's funny? I got so anxious about doing this because I was like, oh, my hair doesn't look whatever. It's just very strange. It's how anxiety manifests. I don't like it, but here we are. All right. So I think it's really interesting. I have started this channel technically in 2011, but I think I uploaded my first video in 2012. And why I say that is because, okay, sorry, bear with me again. I am anxious as hell making this video. And maybe I should have structured it a little more. I think a lot of the time I try to make the videos and I'm not in a great mental space, and then I don't feel like I can show up well enough on camera. But so much of why I want to show up right now is because that's my whole thing. I want to show up imperfectly. And so here I am, imperfectly. Anxious, grieving, uncomfortable, not really having the best time, but having a good time because through the grief, I am really taking care of myself. I'm so proud of myself. I've never been more proud of myself than I am right now in life. And the video that I just uploaded the other day, I was talking about how I loved life and I was waking up feeling really excited about life. And that's true. That's still absolutely true. But while that's happening, I am also grieving a lot of different things, whether it's recent things or things that have happened throughout my life. But I think the huge moments of grief that I've experienced that have really transformed me started when I had to put my dog down almost 2 years ago in September. When you isolate yourself from the world and from all humans, and you develop agoraphobia and a panic disorder just trying to exist and waking up really terrified that every single moment someone's judging you for something. The one solace that you can find is a little dog. Well, in my case, a giant dog. I don't know if I'm going to edit this, if I'm just going to wing it and put this up. But if I do edit it, I will put a Zuko picture up because that was my Zuko bear. He was my baby. He was 150 pounds of fuckery. Yeah, when you develop what I developed, you find this insane attachment to a dog, to an animal, in my case. And for reasons I'm not going to really go too deep into, maybe I will in the future, I had to put him down. And that was one of the hardest decisions of my life. And the ball just kind of kept rolling from there. Because then, not too long after that, I had somebody from my past. I'll just be specific. I had a boyfriend from high school, and we had a very toxic relationship because we both were very unhealed people. But through that, we developed a bond in the sense of our unhealed wounds. I think for me specifically, I was really able to understand him because of what I saw myself through him and all his pain and suffering and how much I resonated with that feeling. High school for me was what? Oh God, we can't get into that. High school was a long time ago for me. 2012 is when I graduated. And, we dated on and off from 2011 to 2015-ish, sort of, on and off. Really unhealthy. Just not good. But it's no one's fault. It was neither of our faults. We were just very wounded humans trying to navigate, and we're attached to each other. But with that attachment, after we were finally able to move on from each other romantically, I specifically felt a hold on him in the sense of, I didn't really word that correctly, but I cared about him deeply, and I always wanted to make sure he was okay. And he would reach out to me so many times over the years whenever he needed somebody, and I was always there for him because I cared for him deeply. And so not long after I had to put Zuko down, I hadn't heard from him in like a year and a half or 2 years, and he reached out to me, and it was in a moment of grieving and trying to transform myself, where I had said to him, you know what, I feel like our relationship is no longer healthy for either of us. I don't think I can be there for you anymore. I'm so sorry. I wish you luck with what's going on. And he took his life a few days after that. So, there's some grief there. Big grief. This is like all over the place. And, then within that, I was in a very unhealthy relationship with someone else. And him and I were on and off. That seems to be a trend with me, which I will get into in later videos. When you hate yourself so much, there's no way that you're going to be in a relationship that's healthy. I know that there's like this kind of, I think this is kind of tricky to say, but like, you hear a lot of the time when people say, you can grow and grow together in relationships, and I completely agree with that. But I think there are certain times when it's not healthy. In my case, I was so wounded inside myself that there was no version of me that could show up properly for a relationship, and that continued through ever since I started dating to now. And that current person is recently no longer in my life. Again, on and off. And given my trend of attaching deeply to either dogs or people, it's really left a big impact on me to lose this person specifically, because he was the first person ever, boyfriend or not, where I felt truly seen and like I could truly be myself, which from a person such as myself who was terrified of everybody from a young age, that felt like magic. And it wasn't even like a romantic sense of magic. It was like a best friendship that I had longed for ever since I was a kid. Being a child and then a teenager to an adult, I isolated my whole life. So I did not have close friends. I tried to have friends. But because I didn't know how to be social, I couldn't show up properly. I couldn't set boundaries. So I never felt like I had anybody. Unless it was a boyfriend. And then I would whatever. I would attach to them way too much. Anxious attachment up the wazoo. Not only that, I definitely carried narcissistic tendencies. At least with my relationship before this last one. Anyways, my point is in saying all this, because I recognize that this is a ramble, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you subscribe to my channel, is that I ramble. I think grief is, in a way, a beautiful thing, which is weird for me to say right now, since I'm sweating and I'm uncomfortable and I am not having the best night with the grief that I'm feeling. But the grief has allowed me to, well, because I've allowed myself to face the grief head on, it's allowed me to transform myself into the woman I have always dreamed I could be. I'm still making my way there. I don't feel like, well, I mean, there's no end goal really, but yeah, excuse me. Oh gosh, if I'm not going to edit it, that's going to be in that. And even right now, I'm anxious because I feel like I'm still kind of reserved, because I'm anxious for how you guys will perceive me right now. Like, oh, JJ, you're rambling a lot, you're saying random shit. It's like, okay, but that's just kind of who I am. And I think that's a lot of why I would isolate, because of how much I ramble and my brain is going at all. It's just going at all times, dude. It's never ending. And so when I finally have people that I've been attached to, that rambling JJ comes out. And so I have this video. Oh my gosh, it's so hot in here and I'm sweating. I have this video that it was just one of those videos where I just sat down and I wanted to talk, and it was talking about my journey with Zoloft, because at that time I was still taking medication for my shit, and it was going really well. However, that video got like 250,000 views or something in total, and I had a lot of people say, this girl's on cocaine, this girl's on crack, blah, blah, blah. Which is really funny because okay, I paused because I'm like, how much can I say without being demonetized? I'm not even monetized yet again. I've done the sniffies, all right? I've done the sniffies, and I'm more talkative. So just yeah, we don't do the sniffies anymore though. The sniffies are no sniffies. That's a whole other thing. See, this is why I'm anxious. It's like I feel like I need to have structure for these videos, which is important, which I'll get to. But at the same time, this is what you're going to get for now. This is my baby step to making more structured videos that have life in them and are not just depressing as hell. Because right now I feel like this is a little depressing. But I just wanted to get on here and just talk. I'm trying to break the barrier of how I have spent so many freaking years of my life. Just like, oh, you need to have the perfect hair, perfect makeup. Everything needs to be perfect, JJ, so that you can control how you're perceived by the internet. But that has been so much of my growth through this grief. It's allowed me to really face myself and face my own patterns and appreciate life so much more, to where I can understand that humans are so complicated. And the whole point of me starting this channel too in the beginning, I was really just to kind of get my creative outlet out through YouTube. And then it went from like comedy skits to like movie reviews, and then it evolved to mental health talk. And I had a lot of people resonate with me, which made me feel really good, really seen, and like made me feel like I had a purpose, and there was a purpose to all the pain that I've been through my whole life, because of my internal world. And it's just now my OCD part of my brain is like, all right, well, how do we integrate talking about mental health and talking about movies and all of the creative stuff that I want to do? How do we kind of go from the videos I was doing before to that? And hold on, I gotta crack my neck. Oh, okay, there we go. And I wanted to, like in my last video, if you're still here, managing to work through the JJ ramble, I talked about how I really wanted to talk about Obsession, the movie. And I got really anxious about thinking, all right, how do I structure it? What is going to be attention grabbing enough to where it'll be interesting? Like, I just put way too much pressure on myself. So this is my baby step before talking about that movie, because that was very impactful for me. A little teaser for that. I saw that movie by myself in theaters. Literally, there was no one else in the theater except for me, which you would find hard to believe. But it was a Tuesday at 9:20 in the morning, so it makes sense. And not only that, I was on an edible. That was an experience. So we will talk about it, because I think that so much of what I want to do, and again, let me go back for a second. My grief towards the situation of losing my best friend is really making me sit and look at myself and face the isolation that I've created for myself. Because now I have one friend, Golzar, hi, and, well, no, I mean Corinne too. Corinne, if you're watching this. Corinne and I don't really see. I mean, I don't even see them. I don't see people because I get terrified. And I put so much of my energy into that particular person that's no longer in my life, that an unhealthy amount, to where all that energy of like wanting to connect with a person went into them. And so my point of saying this is, I want to use my channel as a way of being able to connect. Like, I need to be social. I've recognized that decades of isolating myself from humans has had a very bad impact on my mental health and my love for myself. And I've been getting out into the world, though. I've been working out every single day, which I had started a while ago, but like there was a JJ a decade ago, maybe not even a decade ago, that would not believe that I would have ever gone to a gym. And then I started going to a gym, and then I had to move to a different gym, and we'll get that story later. But the fact that I can go to a gym and I'm taking baby steps to be social is really exciting for me. And this is one of my baby steps. Rambling for now. I will still ramble, but it'll be more structured rambling later. But baby step, socializing through connecting with strangers on the internet. Because trying to have friends is like the most terrifying thing in the world for me. Which, see, this is the thing. That's why I want to talk about obsession so badly, because I am so weird, dude. Because I don't believe I have a panic disorder anymore. I think I healed so much from that. But because I was terrified of, I had agoraphobia so badly, I couldn't leave my house. Do you guys remember that scene in Breaking Bad when Jesse's really high off of, I don't know what I can say. He's high and he's really paranoid, and he's looking out the window and he thinks these huge biker dudes are coming to just like kill him or beat him up or something, and he's freaking out, paranoid, like looking through the blinds. That was me every day for years, because it developed to that point, and I was so scared to leave my room, to the point where I no longer was working out in the world. I wasn't having friends. The only social interaction I would have is with boyfriends, and then I would sabotage those relationships because I'd put all my energy into them and not into having a social life, because people scare me, which is ironic because I'm putting myself on the internet. But it's just me alone in my room talking to a camera. So it's so much easier than face to face with another human, where I have to also like absorb their world too. Right now, all I have to do is talk about my world, which is easy for me to do because I've been alone for my whole life, that I'm very comfortable with my own world. So, baby steps again. But anyways, obsession, that was what I was going to say. See, this is why it needs to be structured, because I have this ability to not be afraid of anything that legitimately is things that people would be afraid of. I have been afraid of walking outside my room because a person would see me, but I can go to a movie and see Obsession by myself completely, very high off an edible, and just love it. Just love the experience. I developed a really weird coping mechanism through watching horror movies. And not only that, every single time I've had emergency situations that were like actually physically dangerous, that could have resulted in death, oh shit, I don't know if I can say that word. Dang it, dude. See, this is another thing. I gotta do my research on all the new crap that comes with all of the monetization shit on YouTube, what I can and can't say. But I've been faced with emergency situations that were very gnarly, and I was so composed, and I had no fear. But then I try to go outside my door, and everybody in the world scares the shit out of me, because I'm like, oh, I hope no one looks at me weird because of my hair, or because of the pimple on my face, and yada yada. So I have a very weird brain, and we're going to talk about it. That's what my channel is going to be about. The creativity is going to come out. The weird brain shit in here, which is a lot, and I think I can actually utilize it to be good, because I've seen how my videos have helped people. And it still, to this day, every single day, it's brought me back to being passionate about coming on here after all of this time, because it's made me feel like I have a purpose. And if I can just help one person just feel a little iota, excuse me, I don't know if that's the expression or the word to say, but of comfort and relief in the pain they're experiencing internally, then I feel like, I don't know, I feel really good about myself, which is crazy to say, because, again, when you spend your whole entire life up until now, for me, really hating yourself to the point where just, yeah, I don't know what I can say. I gotta do my research after I'm done filming. I hated myself so much that every single waking moment of my life was misery, because I hated who I was. I hated how my brain worked, how it was nonstop, how I was terrified of people, and how my passion was to upload videos to YouTube where I would be seen. Because it's like, I simultaneously want to be seen, because I want to feel connected to people. But at the same time, I do not want to be seen. I don't want attention, you know? But I kind of want attention, because then it would make me feel seen. It's so complicated. And now I have so much bloating going on, because the anxiety is causing the gas to build up in there, and I'm still anxious because my eyebrows are starting to sweat, and I'm like, oh, JJ, are you rambling too much? Dude, we're gonna figure this out. Baby steps. It's gonna be imperfect, JJ. It's gonna be imperfect. The first few times that you upload, that's okay. It's about breaking that barrier. And that's how I was able to get to the gym and start going to the gym every day, because I started with baby steps. How was I able to start doing my hair again, and start taking showers again, and start taking care of myself again? Baby steps. Mother ever? I keep looking at my computer like it's going to give me answers, but it's just my GarageBand on right now recording my voice. So it's like, all right. Yeah. You know what's exciting though? I am going to the gym after this. And I will say, just to kind of expose myself even more, it's 10:11 at night right now. I go to the gym at 11 o'clock at night. I do Stairmaster during the day, because I can go when it feels like there's a zoo there, if I'm just on one piece of equipment. And I've been watching, shit. My brain just totally spaced. Devil May Cry? Why am I thinking